Okay, so this is the basic form of tapping that all mechanics learn right from the start. It uses a tap wrench, a little tap wrench, it locks onto the tap here. And this is how I learned to tap holes when I was at Stuyvesant High School. And it's not my favorite way of doing it because you have to keep perfectly perpendicular to the work and you can't shake it left or right. There are a couple of things to remember about taps. One of them is they break really easily because they're so brittle. They're hard so that they can cut through different kinds of metal, and that makes them really, really brittle. So a couple of things we do is you do it slowly and back off. That breaks the chip and breaks the chip out if there is a chip. And also, we use lubrication, either in a wax form or in a liquid form, to kind of ease the tap into the hole. And this just kind of go around maybe 2 or 3 times and then back off. And 2 or 3 times, and keeping it as perpendicular as you possibly can to the work. I've always found that that's the hard part, but that's the way you do it. Okay, so this is hand tapping with a tap wrench. And now we're going to move over to the bench vise, and we're going to go one step, a little bit more advanced, once again, pretty much by hand, but using a hand power drill. So let's go over to the bench vise. So when I first started making folding knives in Santa Fe, 87, 86, around there, I got real bored with tapping all of the parts with the hand wrench, and I decided to speed things up a little bit, so I started using an electric power drill. This is a little bit tricky in that you really want to keep it perpendicular. You don't want to shift it, and I decided early on that I want to use 172 taps, so they're really small. I've done this also with odd 80 taps, which are even smaller, but the 172 is what I use. Now, a couple of things that I recommend. Number one, make sure you lube the tap nicely. I prefer the wax, although the liquid is good too. And before you start, find out with your thumb where the reverse button is, right here, because you're going to want to reverse that tap without shifting it, without moving it at all. You just want to put it in and pull it out. So you line using a relatively slow speed, using my thumb to reverse. And another hole successfully tapped. Okay, so this is with the hand drill. The problem with the hand drill and with the hand wrench is that you can shift, you can move it a little bit, flip it over, and break the tap. That happens every once in a while. A way of keeping the tap perfectly aligned so that it doesn't shift at all is doing it on the drill press. And that's the one we're going to do next.